going to be telling you about powers and roots and how I use them in National Number Knockout. So the first thing we need to learn about is what they are. So powers are 2 to the second power, which is what this is 2 times 2. So 2 to the second power means 4. So this is a short way of writing 2 times 2 is 4. So 2 to the fifth power is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Short way of writing that, which equals 32. Here are some more examples. 3 to the third equals 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. 2 to the first equals 2, because you don't have anything to times. And 4 to the second equals 4 times 4, which equals 16. This lesson is assuming you know addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, because I'm not teaching those. And this is also assuming that you know how to play National Number Knockout. If you don't, go watch this video. I'm going to be leaving a link to this thing that I'm using to show you about National Number Knockout in the description of the video, so you can click on it. And, okay, to the power of 0. Look at this number, 2 to the 0. Well, what does that mean? Well, 2 to the 0 means nothing, right? Well, no, for some reason any number to the 0 power equals 1. So 1 to the 0 power equals 1, 2 to the 0 power equals 1, 3 to the 0 power equals 1, and so on. It does not make sense unless you really try to understand it, but it's really helpful in National Number Knockout. Okay? Square root. The square root of a number is the number that can be times by itself to get that number. That definition sounds a little complicated, so examples is to be the best way. So the square root of 4 is 2, because 2 times 2 equals 4. The square root of 9 is 3, because 3 times 3 equals 9. The square root of 16 equals 4, because 4 times 4 equals 16. There's also cube roots, which will mean that the cube root of 27 is 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. And that can go for like quad roots and everything. But I'm just talking about square roots. Another way to write the square root of x, which is any number, or just a variable I'm representing as any number, is x to the 1/2. That's to be used in the next thing, where we do fractional powers. Okay, fractional powers. 4 to the 5/2. This is a fractional power. It has a power and a root. It means the square root of 4 to the 5th power, which means 2 to the 5th power, which means 32. This is really helpful in National Number Knockout. Here are some more examples. 4 to the 3/2 equals the square root of 4 to the 3rd power, which is 2 to the 3rd power, which is 8. 9 to the 3/2 is the square root of 9 to the 3rd power, which is 3 to the 3rd power, which is 27. This is probably going to be the one you use the most in National Number Knockout, because getting to 32 with a 4 is very helpful. I use it all the time. If you're in a class and you just start playing and then you watch this video and you start using this, they're going to ask, is it allowed in the rules to use fractional powers? It is, as long as you say 4 to the 5/2 and not like 4 to the square root of 4 to the 5th or any other way. You just have to say 4 to the 5/2. So that's how you use that. And I looked at the rules a lot because I wanted to be able to use this. And it was stated in the rules that that's allowed. Okay, using powers in National Number Knockout. Now we've learned about powers, how do we put them to use? Well, let's look at some powers that could be useful. 6 to the 2nd power equals 36, that could be useful. 4 to the 5/2, as I was mentioning earlier, could be useful. This is 32. 2 to the 5th power equals 32, that could also be useful. 2 to the 2nd power equals 4, that's also useful. 2 to the 3rd power equals 8, that's also useful. And all these are useful. These are mostly for like if you just want to get like hop around a little bit with minusing and plussing, which I'm going to show over here and here. And x to the 0, any number to the 0 power equals 1. That's like really important. This is the one other thing, is that with the x to the 0 you can get a lot of numbers near each other. Say I got the numbers 3, 5, and 4. I could do 4 to the 5/2 times 3 to the 0 power times 5 to the 0 power equals 32, because I just turned these into ones. 4 to the 5/2 times 3 to the 0 power plus 5 to the 0 power equals 33. 4 to the 5/2 plus 3 to the 0 power plus 5 to the 0 power equals 34. 4 to the 5 halves times 3 to the 0 power minus 5 to the 0 power equals 31. 4 to the 5 halves minus 3 to the 0 power minus 5 to the 0 power equals 30. So I got 5 high numbers very fast just by doing these without like having to get more and more equations. You can just use the same one, just changing it a little bit. And here's a few more example ones that you can look at. Here's a lot more examples. So with the numbers 2, 6, and 3, I made examples for the entire board. It's not possible with every number, but 2, 6, and 3, I mean, if you want, you can come and check them. But I'm pretty sure they're all right. I didn't double check them. But, and 1, 6, and 5. Awesome. I got a bunch of them. You could get more, but I wasn't going to write more down. And if anyone wants to suggest more examples in the comments, I very well may add them. I mean, if I find that they're wrong, I'm not to add them. But if they're right, I very well may add them. So that's going to be the end of this video on powers in National Number Knockout and roots. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments.